What's up, guys and gals? Today you see we have a Gomexus handle in front of us. Now, why would I have that? Gomexus reached out to me and asked me if I would do a review on one of their handles for a Penn Senator. I said, yeah, sure, I can do it. If I can be honest and open with you guys about the handle and the pros and cons of it, of course. They said, yeah, send me out a few handles and I will kind of go through all of them. This one's for the 113H2, and I also got one for the 114H2, and one also for a Shimano TLD 20 or 25. Now please note I'm not sponsored or getting paid by Gomexus. They just sent out the handles for me to do a review on them. Now let's go ahead and do a quick unboxing of this, just to show you what it comes with. We have that absolutely sexy looking handle right there. And we got a couple pieces in here to help you attach it to the fishing reel. Again, this is meant for the 113H2, but it also fits the 113H. Now, one thing I wanted to point out about this handle is that the length of this screw right here is a little bit too long for the reel. What happens is the screw that came with the Gomexus is pretty long. So when you screw that down through the retainer, it ends up protruding through the handle and hitting the star drag. There's a couple ways you can get around that, but I suspect it's the same for the H and for the H2. So I'm not sure why that is. I would think that they would have done a better job of researching what length it needed to be, but you can still get around it. One way is to grind the tip of that screw down to where it doesn't protrude through the bottom of the handle. That's a little bit risky. I probably wouldn't do that. Now, the reason you can't use the screw that came with the original handle is because it's a little too wide for this receiver on the Gomexus. Now, what you could do is use some Loctite blue 242, 243, which is again by Loctite, but that's you can remove that when you need to service the reel. Now, what I would do to get the Gomexus screw in is I would back the star drag up all the way to the top so it's wide open and the drag is as loose as possible. So it acts like a blocker when you screw the Gomexus screw in there, and you know how deep you should be going. If you note, you'll see that if the screw goes in all the way and hits the star drag, it's still down deep enough to stop the main screw from backing out. Now, I get that the 113H and the 113H2 may use different handle lock screws, and that the height of the 113H2 lock washer may be higher, hence the need for a longer screw. But this is their handle, they can do whatever they want with it. Vis-a-vis making the 113H2 lock washer sit lower so that you can use a shorter screw, or leave the length but make the screw and receiver hole equal to what's already being used on the 113H or 113H2. I suspect it'll be the same concern with the 114H, since that Gomexus handle uses the same lock screw as the 113. I guess overall the question is it worth it considering the one drawback with the lock screw? Well, you have the 113H and the 113H2, and the handle ranges around 25-ish, and the 114H, 114H2 is around 30 bucks. The Gomexus handle cost $34.95. So considering that this is only 5 or 10 bucks more, I definitely would get this handle and use it, because that screw going inside this hole is not that big of a deal when you use some blue 242 on it. Now, when it comes to the TLD 20 and 25, we still have the longer Gomexus lock screw that's too high, which pushes up against the gear shaft. And even though the original TLD lock washer screw fits the hole, the head is too large to work. You would have to use the same technique on the screw as the 113 and 114 handle from Gomexus. Again, the question I have is the Gomexus handle worth more to me at $34.95 to use an original TLD handle that costs about 15 bucks? The answer is a resounding yes, I would. Now, is it worth more to me at $34.95 than my aftermarket black T-bar handle that cost me 20 bucks? For me, my answer is no. I get essentially the same leverage, and I don't fish often enough for it to be worth an extra $15 to me. You may be different. I can tell you that the Gomexus does feel slightly better in my hand than my black T-bar handle, and it is a heck of a lot prettier, but I can do without it if functionality is close to being the same. Now, if you're a person that's fishing all the time, let's say 2 to 4 times a month, it may be worth it. It's a lot easier on the hand. It feels great in there. The durability of them feel to be about the same no matter what handle you're using. but it is definitely an upgrade to use the Gomexus handle. Now I'm going to leave a link to the handles in the description. Hit that thumbs up button if you found the video useful, and consider subscribing to the channel with your notifications turned on. Thanks for watching.